Hello and welcome to the Political Spotlight, where we discuss important issues about politics and democracy in Nigeria. My name is Victoria. Our topic today is youth participation in Nigerian democracy, challenges and opportunity. Joining me here today is a political analyst who will help us understand the role young people play in Nigerian democracy. So, joining me here today is Mr. Johnson, a political analyst that will be throwing more light on so many of our questions that we have concerning young Nigerians about democracy and concerning the 2027 elections. So, Mr. Johnson, have the floor. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
My name is Mr. Akan Johnson. I'm a political analyst and a public commentator as well. I've been in the political space for a very long time. So I've been practicing governance, public affairs and the rest. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are so happy to have you. So, without wasting any of your time, we're gonna go right straight into our first question. Will you agree with me that young Nigerians are becoming more political aware?
Yes, young Nigerians are becoming political aware, and it's very beautiful to note because with the social media and a lot of platform, we have young, Nigerians who are advocating for good governance,
Sure.
who are doing a lot of community services, and also putting the government, to become accountable because the information is out there, is easily accessible. So
Sure.
so it's good. They are very much aware.
Okay, so are you trying to say that social media is like a huge contribution to the youth being aware about democracy today?
Yes, because 30 years ago, we didn't have social media, so informations were just based on what you read on the
I
dailies.
agree.
Yeah, so but now you can sit in the comfort of your home and you can get information, you can get news, both breaking and what is happening. So I think the youth are now informed and they are really holding the government accountable for their actions.
You can hear it from Mr. Johnson. Youth are holding the government accountable because of social media, because we are informed more than before. So, our second question: why is youth participation important in Nigerian democracy?
Yes, so youth participation, in governance is very key because they are the future of tomorrow.
Sure.
So you can't do anything without them. Fortunately, unfortunately, the people leading the youth today are very old. And during their time, they've been in governance for a very long time in their youthful age. So it's always good to carry the youth, along. That is why, the critical aspects you need the youth, to always play is always, attend town hall meetings, attend government functions, check a lot of things that the government is doing because it's all about them.
Sure.
They get to pay the heavy debt if, governance is not going well. Yeah. So their participation is highly important, and I like it these days that the youth are very much aware, and they are really doing a lot. We can see them in a lot like Yaga Africa and the rest.
You can hear that. So some youth shying away, know that the future relies on your shoulder.
Absolutely.
And if you're shying away, then I don't know. You have to hold the government accountable. You have to be involved in politics, in democracy. There's nothing wrong with that. And while you are at it, be responsible, be peaceful at it, and know that the country's future relies on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So question number 3. What are the main changes stopping young people from participating in politics?
The challenges is lack of transparency in governance. It's a very big challenge is because in life you need to know what you're fighting for. So you can't go to a blind spot without information, access to information, and you ask a question, there is no answer.
True.
So that has been a very huge challenge.
I
While
agree
you
with-
see a lot of youth, shying away from politics, they feel their voice is not heard. But the good thing is their involvement has really opened doors and voice are being heard, because if they can't hear you straight, then you can go to the social media and rant, and put up your own there and you force the government to listen to you. So I think that's the only challenge the youth have, lack of transparency, being gotten from the government. But aside from that, I think the youth are doing great.
Do you also think lack of funds, that's financial situation can also affect the youth from involving themselves from politics?
Well, it's 50-50 because one, you don't need money to get involved. What you just need to do is to start from your own street, your background, whatever is happening around you, what the local government should do, the ward chairman. You can you're living there, so you can as well get involved. If you see a road, something that is not done, you can get involved and speak over it. So you don't need money to do that, except you want to, be involved fully in politics. Yeah, but I think in terms of engagement, I think the is only the transparency that can make them shy away. Digital medias,
Sure.
it has really helped the voiceless and made a lot of even the minority to get, have a voice,
Yeah.
in the system, which
Okay.
is good.
All right. That's great. That apart from voting, how else can young people take part in governance?
Okay, there are a lot of ways the youth can take part in governance. Like I said earlier, they can attend town hall meeting. They can volunteer themselves up for community services. There's a lot of government projects going out there. Once you are involved, you get information because information is power. You can't sit at home and rely on the information you get. Some might be propaganda, but when you're on the field, you are able to see these things for yourself. You're able to, add things up and subtract things and know that okay, this is real. So I think there are a lot of ways they can get them.
What if this government do not want to give chances or opportunities to these young ones?
Yeah, the thing is, we all have to understand things as human that nothing comes freely. We all fight for what we want: your freedom, your rights, your peace. You fight for it. You don't sit and expect everything to be rosy. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to get involved. Over there in the UK and other civilized countries, you hear what they call community service. You see people volunteering themselves to do free service,
Sure.
for government, and this, rates them higher. So yes, when you get yourself involved, you are able to be aware. In fact, you are able to guide yourself against this propaganda. Other people will just sit in the comfort of their house to form it.
Sure.
So it's always very good, for the youth to get involved in governance.
I know most one of the challenges our young ones have is our no matter what we do, our voice will not be heard. I beg to differ, like Mr. Johnson said. Now the government are on their toes because anything they know that the youth are going to hold them responsible.
Yeah.
So do not sit in your house, get involved, get informed, and make sure you spread the right information.
Yeah.
So on to the next. What role should schools play in programming political awareness?
That is
I really like this question.
that is quite tactical and should I say a bit difficult, because if you look at our curriculum back then, even in the secondary school, there was something called government where even the junior ones can learn about governance. But you find out that now it's not been so. So many youths, because of what the politicians are doing, they've really shied themselves away from getting involved. Or they're not interested. If the Minister of Education can go back to the drawing board and, try even in the primary, the, later primary and early secondary, to put, this thing maybe called social study, government and the rest, I think it will keep the youth informed. Because what you do in your youthful age and you grow with it is more easy for you to get involved than,
it's easily understood.
It's easily understood, because there's a lot of drama in governance.
Wait, so are you saying now that the government curriculum has totally been wiped off? Because in my secondary school,
it's like it's what they want you to know. That's what you know.
No, sure.
So yeah. But even in the military era, it was very open. We all knew what happened, and we could read it even in magazine. But you just find out that a lot of information has been concealed. And you have to go the extra mile. Even as journalists, it's not easy. There are some things you can't get up there. So it's not been that easy. But with time, we'll get it better.
Hopefully.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully. Is the government doing enough to support youth involvement in leadership?
Should I say yes? I think they are, because there is a lot of government platforms where the youth can get themselves engaged in. Like I said, government, I used to say, is divided into two. You have the political and you have the reality. Maybe for the political, no, because you don't have much youth and women also in the political. But when it comes to total governance, there is the Ministry of Youth and Empowerment. There is other places that the youth can as well start their career if they want to come into governance. And there are a lot of platforms, even in your local government, your ward, and all those things. You can definitely start from there. Politics is grassroots. So the youth needs to understand that politics is grassroots. And you need to build this as a career if you want to do this. You have to give up yourself. You have to sacrifice yourself and your time. Let's put money aside. You want knowledge, so you have to go for the knowledge. And that is what is lacking in the youth. Everybody just wants politics that brings money.
Money
When
very
there's election,
fast.
there's distribution of rice, salt, maggi, pepper. Then you see a lot of youth campaigning. But where the money is not given, you see lesser people, coming in, to participate. So I think that is where we need to fix the broken cord.
You have heard it from Mr. Johnson. It's not about quick result or quick money. You need to lay your foundation well. As an aspiring politician or someone who wants to get involved in Nigerian democracy, you get informed. It is very, very important because information is key.
Yeah.
And when you are informed, you're powerful in the field.
Yeah.
We're going to take our last question. What advice will you give to the young Nigerian who wants to contribute in political development?
That's very interesting. My advice for young Nigerians is get informed, be learned, know what you want for your future, and hold your government accountable. The world is a global market. There's nothing you cannot know. There's nothing you can get. Even the history of our great country, Nigeria, is there on the internet. So if you can do a lot of research, you can read, it's better for you because you know where to start, where to come in, and where not to dive into. But the most important thing is be very disciplined and have integrity, because that space called governance and politics, it's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted.
That's all.
So I think the youth should be more aware, be more informed, do a lot of research so that at the end of the day, you won't get convinced to do something that is not right.
You have heard it from our political analyst, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Education no be scam. Most of our youth believe education is scam. My darling, it is not. If you want to get into Nigerian democracy today, you have to be informed.
Absolutely.
You have to be educated.
Yeah.
You have to be smart about it. And do your due diligence and get informed. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I believe you have answered most questions from our young Nigerians.
Yeah.
And there's another thing again I want to add, right? Is it okay because in Nigeria today, if you're supporting who is not everyone's choice, they tend to attack you.
Yeah.
Please, what can you say towards that?
I think that is very wrong. That's totally wrong.
I mean, it's democracy.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think also is lack of information, being informed. Because everybody has choices. Life is about choice.
Sure.
What I like is what you dislike, and what you dislike might be what I like. But at the end of the day, we have to come to an agreement. So I don't think this cyberbully, attack here and there, defamation and the rest is healthy for the political space. So my advice for the youth is, remember you are youth today. In the nearest future, you also become an elder. So what you do to someone might be likely be done unto you. So that's why we said, get informed, do your research. When you are informed, trust me, that's a power. They say education is power. That's the power you have, You're able to say, no, this is not the truth. This is what I found out. This is what I've been able to research. To save you from, feeling inferior, going to the internet or any digital space to attack anybody, insult, threaten their family just because of politics. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Those that were here today, we're not there yesterday, and those that were there yesterday, they are gone.
No longer there.
So you should know that it's a circle. Yeah.
Please, let's respect people's choices. I mean, that is why we have democracy. Yeah. Democracy is for you to be able to support whichever person you want to support. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. And thank you to my amazing viewers for joining us on Political Spotlight. Today's discussion reminds us that young people have a vital role to play in shaping the future of Nigerian democracy. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, your voice matters. I am your host, Victoria, and see you next time. Bye bye.